Hello.
Hey, so Karen is running a little bit late. She's staying in a hotel, so she was running and she'll be here very, very soon.
Sounds
I'm
good.
really excited to hear about kind of the. We all watched today, I think, the Lindsay Clancy trial, but she was there, so I think she got to see a lot of the nuances that we probably didn't see. So I'm really excited to hear about those. A couple of things I wanted to talk about tonight, and obviously whatever Karen does, but Dr. Mack, that was a big deal, describing the bipolar 2 diagnosis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the Dr. Heilbrunn, I think I said that right. He also described it. The comment from her faith, which we all heard, and we're like, the judge put stop to that. Then the motion for mistrial. But Dr. Sathoff, I really want to talk about this guy. Oh wait, Karen's here. Let's add her. Yay!
Hey,
Hey
I'm so
Karen.
sorry.
No, no, you're fine. Were you actually running? Like
Yes. Now I gotta figure out how not to look like a freak. How do I? Oh
I
my
think you look
god. There we go.
beautiful.
There we go. I literally just got to the hotel room. I was like, ma'am, can I pay after? I just checked in.
Are you staying there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna spend the night tonight.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
gotta be there early in the morning, so I'm no more. I was like, I'm so tired that driving in the morning would be harder than driving tonight. So
Do you think we're gonna have a verdict on Tuesday?
by Tuesday,
Yeah, my prediction's Tuesday,
Tuesday,
but
yeah.
you have more inside information than me, so
I don't think I have anything today. Like it'll be just I don't know. There are people. So I paid like more attention to the jury last time. Ooh, I just got very bright. Um, and there are some people that laughed with Kevin. Like they're starting to get they're starting to get a little more annoyed with the longness of it. Like I feel like a lot of them probably have some idea of how they believe. I don't know how you couldn't. You know what I mean? Like listening this long and hearing all the individual doctors and being presented all the evidence. At some point, even though you're not supposed to make some kind of decision, it feels like, you know.
yeah.
But I don't know how you're going to get 12 to agree on the same thing. I don't.
So what was the vibe like today?
So today's the only day I wasn't here.
Okay, you weren't there today. It seems like everybody was
No.
bored.
Everybody was, well, but my insider friends said that today was like, everybody was like, okay, come on, let's be done. We got to be done. The
Did
guy
you
took
watch
so
it
long to
today?
answer. I did get to watch it. I did have, it was like meet your teacher day at school. And I had to mom. I wanted to mom. I needed to mom. So I was
Yeah.
like, and we
So
put our cat to sleep yesterday. So it was like,
Oh no.
I know that sucks.
she had
So
she had maybe like the worst day in the history of days yesterday. It was okay, it was not a good day for Karen.
no,
Um,
but I'm ready for tomorrow. Like I'm ready to move. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing I can do. So I'm ready
you
for
know,
like,
like when something's buffering and like there's a little
yeah,
spinny wheel,
that
that's
wasn't
what
that, like that guy,
I
right?
needed. I needed it above his head, the little thing going like this, and it's saying like rebooting after every
It was
question
so
Reddington asked
strange.
him.
It was so
Well,
strange.
I
I was
think
like,
that
does he have an on and off button? Is he a
I
robot?
think he's very disciplined, so he takes his
Yeah,
time to answer questions thoughtfully, but he
he's
also
very
leaves enough
careful.
time for objections. I mean,
Yes.
he's
Dr. Kirk, yeah, Dr. K. Uh, it was he was also very like pausy. These last three were just rough to listen to. Holy goodness. Is
well,
it just
okay.
me?
So Dr. Mack just said that she has bipolar.
Right.
Um, that's a big deal. And then
Hmm.
Dr. H said that she has bipolar. Um, really interesting when they had the motion for mistrial, which you were there for.
Yes, that was so interesting. You know, part of me was like, okay, uh, I could see that. And the other part of me was thinking, do not start this over. These people have given so much of their time, but to be able to put it on record and preserve it, for record was huge.
Let's watch that comment real
Yes,
quick.
yes.
All right, let me bring it up. Okay, I got it. I don't know how people are so fast at bringing stuff up. Maybe they just have them all
I'm not.
they have it like preloaded.
They must. They must.
All right, Chris, tell me when it's on the screen.
It's good to go.
All right.
Highly lethal and very serious suicide attempt.
And that was preceded
It
by
was
what?
preceded by months of thoughts and impulses about you should harm yourself, you should kill yourself, your brain is damaged, that sort of thing. And that, I think, is the beginning of the way to understand what happened that day. The second point is that, as I've said before, she didn't like to leave her children. Whether that was for date night or school or going back to work or anything, she did not like to leave her children. And if she had taken her own life, then her children would have been without her, and she thought that they would suffer.
I
And she'd been
sped him
having these
up.
thoughts both about herself.
We need it.
And the other thing that I will say is that she was in pain. She was suffering. She was doing a little bit better than she had been before she went into McLean, but she was still in pain. She was suffering. I think she was even desperate. And that is something that is often characterized as people who try to take their own life. They're in pain, they're suffering, and they're trying to put a stop to it. And I think when she decided at some point that she was going to put a stop to it, then she had to answer the question of what to do about the kids. And she didn't want to leave them, and she was convinced that they would suffer without her.
For the next slide. And further evidence that you saw for the suicide combined with altruistic filicide?
There was. One of the things that she said when asked about what happened is that in the course of strangling each child, she said, "Go to God, baby, go to God." And that was part of her expectation, that she and the children would be together in heaven with God. She was raised as a Catholic, and this, as I understand, Catholic considerations, that's not.
Look at the judge's face looking over.
The judge
at
is
him.
like, don't do it. Don't do it.
He's gonna do it.
Necessarily what happens, but when I asked her about that, when I said, "Isn't suicide a moral
I can
sin?"
only look with one eye.
Yeah, I see counsel over here.
He's had enough.
He was very upset.
So, yeah, that wasn't shocking, but that was a big deal. And then, of course, I mean, I have it queued up. We can watch him ask for the mistrial, but it's sad because it was denied. I
But
was
imagine
really
having
hoping-
to start this all over again, because the chance of having it denied the wrong way, and then the
Oh, what did I do? There we go.
You're like,
Sorry.
bye, Chris. No, stay, Chris, stay.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, it was sad, but I feel like the prosecution will have a little bit more of an advantage if they do this again because they've made so many mistakes.
Exactly.
They'll have a really good strategy next time. Hopefully they have a different prosecutor because this one was not great.
I hope they never have to do this again. I hope it's not a hung jury. Oh man. I will say today, having Kevin use the Commonwealth's own opening against them,
That was interesting and
that was
well
pretty
thought
awesome
out.
to me. Yeah, he's not new at this. And with this one, he's still I'm sure he cares about all of his clients. You have to if you're going to take them on. He's not the person that just cares about money. I've gotten to know him. I consider him a friend now. But his caring for Lindsay, that's the kind of lawyer that's going to actually the family means a lot to him now. He's going to stay in touch with her. I have no doubt. It's not just about getting this done.
Chris, you're watching comments, right?
Yeah.
Are they mean?
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Oh, you should make Chris. I don't know. Do you have mods in your channel right now? If not, you could make Chris.
Yes,
one.
I do. No,
You can do it.
I mean, you're welcome to be a mod, but I do have mods.
So I want to talk to you about Dr. Sadhoff, the guy we saw today. He reminds me of someone, but it's a Star Trek reference, so you probably won't
might.
get it. Okay.
might.
He reminds me of Jellicoe.
I feel like I know who that is if I saw their face.
They make cartoons about him. Like,
Is he like the yeah, I think, you know what? I do think I know who you're talking about.
But
I
he
actually
was like
I think I can picture.
I think he was in like 2 episodes. So,
But like me, are there memes about him?
oh yeah, the person
Okay.
who makes the memes
Yeah.
is our friend Ken.
Shut up. Okay, I've definitely seen it.
And everybody looks at them. It's kind of actually Ken was on here with us a couple of weeks ago.
All right, I'll have to go back and look. Everybody check it out.
With the Star Trek memes. But he reminds me of him, just the way that he talks. He's very disciplined, but he's not qualified, right? I mean, is that
Here's the thing. He, and like most of them, are not postpartum experts. This man, and this was my biggest issue with him. I wrote it down, but I literally, if you saw, I literally threw everything on the floor and opened my computer. So, excuse me. He is an expert in jail, in prisons, in like mass casualty, not in hormone-driven postpartum anything. Except what, in 1980s or early 80s or 90s? Like, come on, that's foolish.
But he's also fooling everyone with his credentials. On Court TV
Yes.
and Law and Crime, it said FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit, okay? Linda Kenny Bodden was saying today, you know, he's credible because he works for the FBI. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. He is a consultant, right? So the
That's
FBI will
crazy.
call, is not on their payroll. The FBI will call him if they need an expert in the things that you described. Okay, that's his only affiliation with the FBI. This is complete garbage.
Here's the funny part. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you, please.
The funny part is just those words, like no one's actually, I feel like no one's actually going to care how his association with them is. The words, the letters are what gives him like the clout. And they're going to be like, are they going to weigh his testimony over other people's testimony because of the letters FBI, no matter where they fall in it?
I think so, yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. But it's misleading because he doesn't work for them. What is VSP? What's VSP? Is that the prison? Virginia State Penitentiary? What's VSP?
Yeah, I think he was part of the Virginia State prisons, or he was part of the prison system in general.
Maybe he was just a consultant.
Yeah. I mean, unless you have their CV out right there, like I wish they haven't been putting things into, like, usually you can grab the evidence and you can actually look through it, and they have been very difficult about actually putting the evidence out there for the media.
This is his specific description of his role with the FBI.
Okay.
Senior FBI consultant, an independent contractor or external expert brought in for specific advisory, technical, or forensic tasks.
Wow.
Not on their payroll. And it's represented that he works for them. It's mind-blowing to me.
Does he have a clearance, I wonder? Does he have to have a clearance for that?
Absolutely. I mean, Chris had to have a clearance for like some veterans benefits position he had when he graduated from college. So yeah, he most definitely has to have a probably a top secret clearance.
Right, because he's getting the info he's doing their, decompressions or whatever.
We also cannot check into his references or his credentials when it comes to the FBI because all of those cases are confidential because they usually they settle out of court.
Right. And court that has to do with the military is completely different anyway. You can have like a case going on at 11 p.m. at night.
Military or federal, if
all of it.
Those records are going to be sealed forever.
Yeah, he's a sneaky one to get as as a witness because there's a lot less, Ocean Behave said, of course he's credible. You can't question that now. The question is, did the state prove that she was sane at the time of the crime? Did the 3 witnesses prove that? That's the only issue. I mean, you're right. In that sense that is the only issue because it's already over. So we can't kind of go backwards and fix it. But
I can question his credibility if I'd like to,
well, yeah,
which I'm doing. Right.
right.
So his primary career focus is counterterrorism, hostage negotiation, and general violent criminality. So no postpartum.
And Kevin asking him the questions about, the GABA enzymes and what happens to your prolactin levels, and him just eventually being like, yes. And Kevin's like, do you even do you understand, or are you agreeing with me? And he's like, agreeing with you. Like, come on. Like, then he started to sound stupid because he doesn't know about postpartum. He's not from that. It's like the jury at some point somebody on that jury has to rein them in and say, postpartum, this is a postpartum situation. And if you have a baby and you nurse for 2 years and then you stop nursing, that is a postpartum. You're still going to deal with postpartum stuff, even if it's 2 years down the road. And it's huge. So I really hope somebody in there like dealt with either postpartum anything, or even nursed for a longer amount of time, or got pregnant back to anything that would make your hormones draw out in a longer way than 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something that would continue it on.
How did you feel about the all of his interviews being through Zoom?
I swear, if you're gonna be an expert witness and you're meeting with, he didn't even, what did he say? It was like January of this year that he first even got involved, and then he didn't even see her until not that long ago. That's nuts. And then to see her on Zoom, I'm sorry.
Right.
That's
So
not-
how would he observe microexpression? Psychomotor agitation, a flat affect, subtle physical signs of medication side effects, residual trauma. You need to physically see those things. And I'm sorry, but you can't see that on a Zoom.
No, I agree with you 100%. I have to, sorry about that. I have to think that just watching this jury, I have a sticky note with a very basic makeup of the jury, and I think I can tell. I think I won't get kicked out of court if I tell you sort of the very basic, like, here's where they sit kind of thing. I don't want to like get myself in any trouble, but it's basically like there's a woman in her 40s to maybe early 50s. She sits on the end, and
so
then
she's like our age.
Yes, yeah, maybe a tiny bit older, maybe.
I'm guessing
but not
you're
that much.
a couple
In the
years younger
40s.
than me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but the woman next to her is one of the older women on the jury. Very nicely dressed all the time, very proper, and always kind of looks like this. Even if some of them even like make a they laugh and smile sometimes. They do. Not this one. This one doesn't. She's very serious. Next to her is a man that is 40s, 50s. I have a really hard time judging because now you can actually like look so much younger, and I don't want to hurt their feelings. So yeah. I actually feel kind of bad. We'll call him middle-aged man. He's a middle-aged man. He's got a long beard, like a white beard. He looks like I could see him with like on that, like the greasing show,
like a ZZ Top beard.
Not that long. Not that
long.
It's kind of like just like not monster trucks, but I could see him on one of those Monster Garage shows. I could be reading him totally wrong, but that's the kind of like look he has.
Like a biker look?
There's one that has more of a biker look, but he could ride a bike. He could ride a bike. I feel like he knows what he's doing in the garage. That's very generalizing and probably not the correct thing to do. Then after him, there are two women that are pretty much they're like very regular people. There's nothing like stands out about them. The one that's next to we'll call him like the Monster Garage kind of guy, will offer him, like I've seen her hand him like a tissue or something over the course of all this time. They're just very like, the thing is they're all there stoically. There's no real characters, which I think is kind of interesting. Next to those two women is the guy that I must drive a Harley or something. He's awesome. He comes in a suit. They're all awesome, I think. He comes in a suit every day, and he's got the longer beard, and he looks like he's got long hair. He's like, but it's pulled back. It's very like He looks like a biker.
He's taking
Next-
it seriously though by
He's
dressing up
you know-
every day.
Here's what I've noticed. They all dress nice. They've all dressed very nicely through this whole trial.
Well,
Even if
I
one's
like
in
that.
jeans, they're in a very nice outfit. Like they are taking, no one's coming in pajamas. That's what I've noticed. And they are taking it very seriously because none of them really make any kind of faces or gesture. Now they're starting, the courtroom is packed with media. So they are starting to look around. People are coming and going. There was a dog in the court today.
There's going to be an overflow room tomorrow.
I heard. That's why I'm here, to get there very early. Yeah, which they haven't had yet. Okay, next to the nicely dressed person is another older woman, and then a younger woman, and then one of the two oldest women in the whole thing. So then, front row is the youngest guy. And he always has like his hair combed over. He has very wide eyes. He's always paying attention. Next to him is a man with he always wears like a polo shirt, but you can tell he probably wears like much chiller clothes on the weekend. He's got a little soul patch. He pays attention. He laughs sometimes when Reddington says something that's funny. The next to him is probably the oldest man there. He looks like a grandfather. He's taking this very seriously. Even he takes tiny notes. His writing is so small. I mean, I've sat like close enough that it's just that he writes a lot of notes that you can see that he's writing a lot.
Maybe he's afraid he's going to run out of paper. So he's writing tiny.
I know. Well, they can have as many notebooks as they want and more pens. I've seen someone get a new pen that's run out of ink. So I thought that was funny. And then let's see, after the oldest man there is maybe the other oldest kind of woman. Yes.
Let's read that. I have never heard the 911 call. I'm guessing you did, Karen, because you were in court when it was played, right?
Well, that's the only.
I don't want to hear it.
Someone put how did they put it on YouTube? Wait, you got to give us more info about that. Because there is I have a episode where I have part of the 911 call. It's from long before the trial started, before it was like, so don't get me in trouble. It's been there the episode's been around for a long time that I did an episode on this whole thing. You can hear his 911 call, but not the part, anything that has to do with the children, nothing at all. Listen, guys, there's always a morbid curiosity of things, but there's also, you're going to not forget those kind of things. I worked in 911. That was my job for a long time. I get, there's no way to stop people from doing it, but it's also, I don't know, that makes me sad because there's this kind of like protection and honoring of these kids, because they have to be talked about. Their autopsy had to be shown to the jury.
Right, which is why I can just make the choice not to listen to it.
That's what I hope.
I've seen it circulating. I just don't listen to it.
How?
Yeah.
How?
I have no idea.
I can't. Miss Priss says, can you imagine sitting through all of this and being dismissed as an alternate? I know. That's going to stink because they've all they've stayed through the whole thing. Not one person has been dismissed yet.
Do they already know which ones are the alternates?
I don't believe so. I think they choose after the charge. That because
how do they choose?
Every courtroom is different. I've seen like lottery balls kind of pulled out before. like what do they call it? Like, like ping, almost like, did that happen to Karen Reed too? I think it might have.
I'm thinking there's like a big thing with a crank on
yes,
it and the balls are popping around.
Bingo.
You get one. Numbers. They all have numbers. They pull numbers out of something is usually how it goes.
Maybe it's like the Harry Potter sorting hat.
Like bingo balls. Yeah, I do think it is. It's a bingo wheel. It is that. That's what we're gonna. I hope they show it. Bubblegum. It did. Oh man.
I wanted to ask. Oh wait, did you tell me about all the jurors yet?
Oh,
where do we leave off?
Let's see. We have. Like there was the oldest woman, then a younger woman, then the youngest looking woman that always looks kind of confused. She's always like she just always looks.
Wait, that was Samantha Beningo that put that on there?
Wait, what? She put the 911 call out?
That's what they're saying. I mean, I watch her videos all the time. I did not see this.
Oh. I don't know. I don't like rumors. I don't know.
Okay, so they're saying you didn't watch the video if you're saying she posted the audio because it was just the transcript of it.
Oh yeah, okay. So I remember somebody okay, the transcript, because I did remember somebody put that out there that it was
the chat shouting at us, but chat started this discussion.
I was not in court the day that the 911 call was played. I came in right after that, and I'm okay not here. I've done 911 calls for more than a decade, and I'm okay with not being there for that one. I did see the autopsy photos. I didn't want to see those either, but you know.
Misinformation pisses me off. I mean,
me too.
It doesn't piss me off if we're going to get to the bottom of it and sort it out. And honestly, somebody might be offended that the transcript would be out there. I don't know. I really like Samantha. So
I do too. Oh, she's awesome. Yeah, I don't think she would risk by putting a call out there.
How did you feel about the inconsistency stuff that this doctor, I can't remember his name, I was calling him Dr. Jerkoff, but
yeah, well, like works. So here's one of the things that was really interesting to me, because it wasn't that inconsistent. It was an extra word or two to me. To me, like when it came to what did the voice say? That was the huge one that kept going over and over again. What did the voice say? What did the voice say? And go to God, and then it was like, go to God with some extra words, like you'll be safe now, or children will be safe now, then yourself and all that stuff. Listen, the woman had been through multiple traumas, physical, mental, spiritual, since we keep bringing that up, all of it. She had surgeries, or she had anesthesia, she had medicine. I think if it was wildly different, like the voice said, go to McDonald's and pick up a coffee, dump it on everybody, and then versus, these couple of I think they're really pushing and pulling at little strings on that one. I think.
So I have a question about the glass. Was it wine or lemonade? Now, I'm not asking you that because I genuinely feel like who cares, but
right?
He used that as a basis to say that Patrick said it was wine and she said it was lemonade, therefore she is a malingerer.
Which is weird to me, because now she might not remember. It's a friggin' glass of a drink.
Right. But he didn't do a forensic examination at all of Patrick.
No.
So how is he basing
why isn't Patrick a malingerer
as being gospel, right? Like,
right. Even though he says he goes in as non-biased, and they all talk about bias. If you're going in on the prosecution side, I don't know. I feel like I want to know how many experts they've hired that have flat out been the opposite, that have come back the opposite.
There's a situation where neither one of them are liars.
Which
is, they said it was a tumbler. Yeah. So if you have a Yeti tumbler, which we have a bunch of them that for wine, we have other ones for whiskey or whatever, different shapes, right? And she did drink wine sometimes. So these are nice. They keep your wine or drink nice and cold.
Right.
But you can also drink regular drinks out of them. So if that's on the nightstand, Patrick may default to there's wine in it.
Yeah, maybe that's what she always put in it.
Because it's a Yeti tumbler and not lemonade, which is what she actually put in it.
Right.
There's a very logical explanation why that's not consistent. That doesn't mean someone's a liar.
And here's what I've learned from sitting in there and reading things and hearing other things, and the Commonwealth especially only they don't have to do full truths. They can use certain phrases and not, they can sort of cater it to how they want to shape and mold it, how they want it to look. Reddington said, ask the cops about the drink and crushed pills. Oh, no, you can't because they didn't check. That's right. They didn't. Nobody knows what the hell those pills were. Nobody knows about any of that. And then What the Duck said, how can you trust that either of them remember after such a traumatic event? If you are a firsthand witness of something and you have a traumatic event, it is such a small amount of chance that you're going to actually remember the real complete thing. I did that in a series I'm doing on a case. It's called the Eddie O'Brien case. And it has to do with, I talk a lot about witnesses. And if you experience a traumatic event and you have, you're the eyewitness, your reliability goes down by so much if it's included in a traumatic event around you. So it's not a big deal to me.
I'm
Like,
trying to think about situations where I've been traumatized, and honestly, I don't remember details about them.
Right.
I also have zero visual memory. I don't visualize
really?
things at all. No, I don't have dreams. I've never visualized something that wasn't there.
Hey.
Right. It
I am
sounds
a
like
total visual person. So to me, it's like I'm probably the opposite of you.
yeah, I have the absence of imagination.
Wow.
Right. I wouldn't remember anything. Someone would ask me all these questions. I would have no idea. Where was this? I don't know.
Right.
I have to be very specific and make a point to remember where things are.
You are asking them to remember a drink in a cup on a day that their 3 children were unalived.
I think she remembers what drink she put in the cup.
And that's fine. That's fine,
And I think Patrick probably saw it was in a tumbler because they said specifically tumbler.
Yeah.
And it was lemonade. He figured it was wine. But they never tested. They never tested the liquid to see how many drugs were in it.
So strange to me. So strange, because now they don't know if that was another method by which she was trying to leave the world. We don't have any clue what she was.
Was there anything in the cup? Because wouldn't she have just drank it all? It was an empty cup?
I believe you can see in the pictures. I swear there's like white residue, or it looks like somebody crushed up something in the evidence. I have some evidence. I might have the evidence photo of it. Do you want me to look really quick?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Not at all. Let me see.
Does Chris speak asking for a friend?
I've spoken a couple times.
There he speaks.
He has the gift of gab, so he usually talks quite a bit. But whenever he and I are streaming together, we do it a little bit differently. So it's not like all Lindsay Clancy, which he's been working and not able to watch it. I usually update him on things and then we have a conversation about it. But he'll speak up.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't like Vanessa just said, I was working today. I didn't have a chance to really catch up with anything that was going on with this trial. So
this is his catch up.
Karen and Vanessa
whoops.
talk about it.
I touched the wrong button. I'm sorry. I'm also slow at this. So there, now I'm in the right section. I know I screenshotted some because I'm doing a Lindsay Clancy, like what happens after kind of thing. So it has to do with mental health. I'm getting closer. I know it. I feel it. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, here's some evidence pictures. This must be... Sorry, guys. You can give up on me in a minute.
That's okay. I'm typing something in the private chat really quick. Chris, fill in the gap.
Okay.
All right. I'm back.
Oh, I might not be able to find them because I said I would and I said I had them. I just can't remember if they're on here. My brain is like a little bit scrambled. It's a little tired still, so it's not.
Yeah, you were driving, so.
Yes. So I'm like, there are 3 or 4 different places I keep.
Karen,
I really need to do better organizing.
Did you get any sleep last night?
I did. I slept. I thank God finally. Uh, I finally slept. And then
Is
I
it
was just so tired from just the weeks and weeks of driving, almost 6 hours every time I drive. And yesterday was like, or the day before was like a 4 hour drive there because of they were doing like construction in the middle of the road in the morning, in morning traffic. I'm like, ugh.
yeah, I
So
mean, you had to take the cat to the vet yesterday, right?
yeah, so I was kind of up all night, Monday into what day is it? Yeah, Monday into Tuesday. When I got home from court, I noticed that my cat was like just not right. So I brought her into bed with me. And then, long story short, by about 4 a.m., I couldn't sleep anyway. And I was like, I'm just going to get up and go to court early. And then I saw her in the bathroom and she couldn't stand up. And I was like, yep, nope. My husband was
That's
like, I'll bring
terrible.
her to the, it was awful. He's
Was
like, I'll
she
bring her to the vet.
older? Was
Only
she an older
11.
cat?
She was 11.
Oh,
That,
that's
to me,
terrible.
that's kind of young. She was
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
cats can live to be like 18.
Yeah, like we've had 18, 19-year-old cats. It was acute cancer. It turned out she was bleeding into her stomach, and it was just literally the only thing we could do was put her down. If there was anything I could have done to like even help her, save her, give her a chance, and it wasn't going to cause her more pain and stress, I would have in a heartbeat. But so then I pretty much, well, I had to drive home and change my pants because she accidentally peed. When
Hey,
she
can you
passed.
tell us a little bit about this wedding? Because it was a Mexican wedding.
Yes. Okay. So my son married my new daughter-in-law is from Mexico. So her entire family got all their visas at once, and they've never had that before, where they came to the United States at the same time. It was incredible. The food was incredible. The dancing was incredible. I think my quads still hurt. My family, all of my 8 children and my husband and I and her family all got to be in the same place for 3 days straight, where we just spent so much time together. It was exactly what I needed. And when you have a kid in the military anyway, they're not, it's harder to get everybody together. And she's also in the military and she's being deployed soon. So it was just like an extra special moment where I don't know, it was just like nothing else mattered in the world. We just, all that love and fun and maybe a little tequila. I didn't have that. Lots of dancing, no, I don't like tequila. I definitely had a few Coronas, but, and then her family made authentic Mexican food. Oh my God.
I lived in Mexico City for a while.
You did? Oh, the
I
food.
did. I hate cilantro, so that can be a little bit of a struggle, but
They didn't use it. They did not use it.
There's no other food like it.
It was like just kept coming and coming and coming. They had so much food. It was like they made these they almost looked like quesadillas, a quesadilla. They were, with real corn tortillas and cheese melted inside. And then they gave you tamales, and thank you, Cheech. And then they had carne asada, which I don't eat steak, but I loaded it with fresh guacamole and fresh tamales, which were so very spicy, but I had to. I'm craving one right now.
That's why they call them hot tamale. Right?
Hot tamale. Yeah. And then they had this, oh my God, they had roasted potatoes, and they made this sauce out of chilies that they had blended up with tons of butter and tons of lemon.
What, like a mole sauce?
Kind of, yeah. And it was, but it was like yellowish and all over the potatoes. Take me back to the mountains. Let me rewind. It was so good. But it's really interesting because I don't really speak a lot of Spanish, and my children, there was a lot of kids there, and just watching everybody, even though you don't speak the same language, thank God for you can, do a translation into a phone or what, and they make your earbuds kind of tell you. It didn't matter. It just shows you can have so much love and fun and happy and not even have to really understand the same language. And that's probably some deeper lesson I could come to.
I would live in Mexico if I wasn't so tall, because that was my biggest.
That was the hard part. How tall are you?
I'm tall, but
okay.
I'm tall for a female. I'm like the average height of a man.
Okay.
So I'm 5'10".
I'm jealous. I mean, I'm not tiny short, but I have an S
Yeah.
in my back. I would really like it to be straight. If it was straight, I'd probably be a couple more inches. My back is actually like double curved. So
With like scoliosis.
yeah. Yeah. And it's like the top curves in and then the bottom, then the bottom curves the opposite way. Special.
Yeah, so I mean, nothing against short people. I don't have a problem with it, but like I don't want to
No, but
I don't
yeah.
want to live somewhere where I'm like, Lurch from the Addams
Where
Family.
everybody's like, "Oh, blonde hairish and and tall."
This is white hair.
Oh, well, what about the bottom half? What is that? Why does it look blondish? It's all white?
I mean, no, I just have like out of my temples, my hair grows white.
My hair's white
so
too.
Depending on where I part it, like here I'll show you.
It looks more like, oh my god, that's so cool. I have lots of white hair. It's hard because of the color. That's so cool. Oh, I love your hair. I also, each one of mine is named after a child. Like this set is from you. This set is from you. This lighting doesn't do it justice. But.
I started perimenopause kind of young. I was 38. And when that happened, the hair started to just go. I had a couple here and there, but it's only right here and right here. Everything else is still like a brownish auburn or whatever. So
your lighting makes it look blonde. That's why I thought blonde.
It's not the lighting. It's any light. Wherever I part it is what color it's going to look like it is.
So you just have options no matter how you feel, whatever you're feeling for the day.
If it's down the middle, you won't be able to see it.
That's so cool.
I like to pull it like straight back here in the middle and then have this like hanging down. It looks kind of like witchy. So I do that.
I love it. I love it.
I asked Chris if I could do that today and he was like, no, leave it the way it is. And then I was like, should I leave my glasses off? And he's like, no, I like you better with glasses.
Oh, my kid told me I looked weird with glasses yesterday. He's like, you look weird. I was like, because I don't wear them all the time. Like,
I had LASIK like 10. Yeah, I had LASIK like 10 years ago. So I didn't need to wear glasses and I still can get away with not wearing them. But like my computer monitor's kind of far away. So I just need like a light prescription. I only really wear them to drive.
Yeah.
I'm not like a big glasses look person. Just
they're very cute. You look great.
I guess it's my streaming personality now.
Yes, you have two different.
Can you talk to me a little bit because I was confused today about the end of court and what they were talking about the charge stuff.
So that's where they decide like what's going to go on the jury slip. That's where they like they've talked about it a little bit. They have to have that kind of all ready and what they're going to say to the jury. So they decide like they might say something and it's only lawyers. The other people aren't allowed in there. So that's like one of the only private type of situations that happens behind closed doors.
Well, we were there, right?
Yes. I think they were trying not to let public in the other day when they were doing like the mini charge. It was weird. And we're like, still a public thing, but it's like the jury goes home. There are things they each, I don't know, because the judge had said he was going to like sort of make a, what's it called? Like a practice. I don't even know what he called it. Like some kind of sheet. And then they sort of like go off. They decide we want this, we want that, we want this, we want that. And how you charge the jury, what words you use. They're all important because certain phrases might make something sound something, or maybe you want them not to say this or that. So that's
what did they agree to add to it today?
That is a good question. So at the very end of court, I was at the kids' school. Hey guys that are coming in late. Rough draft of the jury instructions is what they were doing last time. So what they decided on is a very good question. I would love to actually get a copy of it and see it before tomorrow, because that's why I put it in. I mean, that's why I put it in. I was reading something in the chat.
Somebody's behind. They're letting us know.
That's cute.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We know.
Thank you very much.
It sounds like they're putting manslaughter on there. And
so I feel so bad that I'm like behind on that part of it.
And that's what I don't understand. Like, right. Okay. So Ms. Priss is telling me manslaughter. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, why do they want to do that strategically? I don't understand. Because she
that
can go to prison if they're like, oh, let's split the baby with this, and then she goes to prison, and they don't want her to go to prison.
kind of, because I want, like, wherever she goes has to be able to accommodate her needs.
Right.
So I'm not entirely sure what they do with her. Does she stay at Tewksbury even if she's convicted? Also, if it's manslaughter, what if she's already been there for 3 years? What if it's manslaughter and the time is served? You don't know. But if you have the thing about manslaughter, it's risky. But if it's first degree and then kind of murder 1 and murder 2, she's going to jail for forever or for very, very most of her life. If it's manslaughter, that sort of gets them to compromise. Like, look, I'm not going to find her not guilty here. Maybe she was a little bit nutty, but not fully insane, like the court, whatever. Maybe she didn't meet the exact criteria, but you kind of like want to give, it's kind of like when Karen Reed, when they added in the drunk driving charge, they didn't need that. That was dumb. I mean, but that gave the jury something to give her guilty on. Then they kind of felt better about themselves. So it's almost kind of like voluntary. Yeah. So, okay. So
Wait, what does that mean?
So voluntary and involuntary intoxication is off apparently now.
I thought it was on. Oh.
Uh-oh. Judge Sullivan decided to instruct the jury on manslaughter as a lesser included offense alongside first degree over the objection of the prosecution. Yes. So, Kevin said
Thank you, Oceans.
Yes. Kevin said in an interview today that manslaughter and mass is the same difference. See Court TV interview after court. Okay. So that's the lesser charge. That's basically the intoxication type of thing. So
okay.
It gives them something to find her guilt. Like if you're guilty of manslaughter, we know she did it. Okay. We do. She said she did it. It's not Patrick, internet. Because let me tell you, Reddington would have been on that like a fly on poop. Okay. It's not. So
I don't hear any. This is funny. I was texting with my cousin who I see, and if you're watching, hello, Carrie, because she wants to, watch streams, and that's cool. But I told her I'd been talking about this, and the first thing she said, "Do you think the husband did it?"
Same
and
at
I'm
school
like,
today.
This is such a like TikTok thing, and I don't get it.
It's on
I
Facebook
feel really
too.
bad for the guy.
I do too. It's in the Facebook groups. There's Lindsay Clancy Facebook groups. And so when I went to meet the teacher today, it was the first thing that they asked me is like, I guess they knew I was there. And they said, so tell us the truth. Is it the husband? And I was like, as salacious as it would be, I promise it's not the husband. Like, I'm so sorry. It's not the husband. I'm a cupcake. I like cupcakes. Well, I don't like to be anything, but I do like cupcakes and I like Melanie Little. So
I like her too a lot.
Yes.
Although I'm not watching. This is the first time there's been a trial that I'm electively not watching it on her channel. It's too intense.
Yeah.
And I love her pausing it and explaining things, especially if I'm going to talk to Chris about it later.
Right.
I find that really helpful, but I can't do it. I don't have the capacity to do it. I need to blow through it. And
yeah, this one's got a lot of that like drawn out stuff too.
Yeah, I need to just be able to steamroll through it and then try to find some peace because like I'm sure a lot of people feel the way that I do. I'm going to be devastated.
Yeah.
If she has to go to prison.
It's gonna mess me up too. I mean, I don't know, just sitting there like and seeing her and hearing her attorney speak about her and hearing that she was such a wonderful mother, like not one person. I hope I have to think this jury also has been sitting there listening as well. And so they also need to they got to be able to go back to all the evidence. And so they are very big note takers. They really are. So I don't know if they're allowed to bring their notes in. Are they? Can they study them?
I have no idea. Wait, their notes?
Yeah, they have notebook. Like they take notebooks.
I think that's all they're allowed to have. I'm
trying to remember, like, does anybody that lives in Massachusetts remember if in a Massachusetts case, the jury can bring their notebook, or if they have to rely on. Okay, yes, that's what I thought. So they have a lot of notes. Every kind of note is in there. Trust me, they've been noting.
Do you feel any differently than you did at the beginning of the trial about what her mental health diagnosis is after hearing the experts, all of the experts?
I think they downplay a lot of her psychosis and manic episodes.
They don't acknowledge it at all. It's not
No.
downplaying it.
Right. And just certain things she did, like the excessive exercising, the cleaning stuff out. I understand why Kevin keeps going back to that, because if you actually have it in a bipolar, I don't think that she's maybe just bipolar 2. And they keep downplaying bipolar 2. And that to me is annoying as well, because bipolar 2 changes your entire life. You know that. Like,
I have my husband, Chris, who's here, and he'll probably start talking because I'm going to talk about him, has bipolar 1. And he
sorry. Why did I think it was 2? Sorry about that.
And he is on a very, very good medical regimen that works for him with medication. And I've never seen Crazy Chris. He was crazy. I call him Crazy Chris. That doesn't offend him before I met him. So he's happy to talk openly about it. But the symptoms that she has remind me of what he has.
And my father too, bipolar 1 as well. And it's the same like immediately I'm like, oh yeah, I can see it. I can pick it out. And I'm listening to your timeline. What do you mean that's not mania? What do you mean that's not this or that? I'm like,
also her being like hyper fixated on medications being the things that are hurting her.
Isn't that
medications?
Paranoia?
Right. That's mania. That obviously weren't.
Right.
And then downplaying ones that actually were, like the SSRI, like she didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, that's a bipolar mania, what she was doing, this obsession and fixating on things and that didn't make any sense. And she can't rationalize it, and you can't talk her out of it. And there are all these seasoned professionals saying that they didn't see it. And I'm like, what? The other thing with her Dr. Tufts, the stuff that they're saying is, oh, she said this. She told me this. She wanted this. What are you doing? She's your patient. You tell her what's what.
Right? Guide her.
Why are we blaming her?
Help
she went
her
to you for
understand.
help. Help her. Be like, no, sit down. This is what we're doing. And have a record of that. There's no paper trail at all for any of that.
From what I've heard, they play both sides of it, though. Like, they said that she was resistant to medication and that she was trying to change her medication every couple of days and stuff like that. But then at the same time, they say that, like, that's what she wanted and she had agency and she was in control. So
right, it's so strange.
It's very strange.
This, and they've also sort of like they were like, she wasn't really trying to, end herself. And then at the end, it's like very serious, and I'm just like,
yeah, they can't make their mind up with that.
Which is reasonable doubt. You just handed us a whole weeks of reasonable doubt. It's nuts. Like, I almost am like, what if they go to jury deliberations, then they all just look at each other and they're like, yeah, reasonable doubt.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either, but it would be kind of interesting.
I mean, unfortunately, this is going to be a hung jury. I'm pretty sure of it.
Ooh,
I know that
so traumatizing for them, like for the people to have to go through it again.
Did you see the expert they had on Justice Served TV yesterday? It was his second appeance.
Yeah, I love him.
Dr. Elaine.
Yes, from England.
The British guy, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Gregoire. It's not Gregoire. His last name.
I think it's Elaine Gregoire.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He was saying that if you have bipolar 1, you have a really high chance of developing postpartum psychosis. And the psychosis isn't necessarily due to you having bipolar 1. Like, they're not They're not mutually exclusive, but you have
Right.
a higher chance of developing it, and it manifests different than bipolar 1 mania because it's a psychosis. And
Right.
that's what all of these things sound like to me. And he's a leading world expert on this. I
I
mean,
wish
I
he could have
wish,
come.
well,
The people they had on were so weird that it would have been so nice to have somebody that sounds like they actually know what they're speaking about on. I mean, I know I mean, listen, Dr. Zeisel's amazing. I so respect him. Dr. Resnick has such experience with this very stuff in other cases, the Andrea Yates case and such. Then we have the prosecution's experts. I'm just like, can no one find it? Where's a woman also? I know
well,
Spinelli, but
two of them came from the consulting firm that is run by the doctor from the Andrea Yates case that made up the whole Law and Order thing.
which is insane that they would do that.
Right.
It's just more than not even once, but twice. Like,
Well, it's just insane that he has any credibility left. He's running a consultant firm. People are hiring
right? You're like,
contractors, but that might be why they weren't very. I don't want to say they weren't good witnesses. I don't think that they were, but they
and
might
I don't
be
either.
they might be in other fields. I'm not saying that they're bad at their job by any stretch. This just wasn't a good fit for them. But they may
Right.
be stuck with who's willing to do it for this company that, people are going to bring up and say they got
Yeah.
it wrong in this huge case
Right? They're like,
of
hey,
this of something very similar.
which they have to bring up. I mean, they have to bring it up. So it's,
Well,
like
they're
you
not
have
they're wouldn't be surprised if they Googled him. They're not allowed to Google him.
no. Mass in most states, the prosecution has to prove she was sane at the time. No reasonable doubt. Right. It's backwards than a lot of states are.
It's backwards in a good way.
Yes, like maybe the only good way, like one of the only good things. It's just that the Commonwealth's experts were so lacking in postpartum information and the difference, the different situations. When Kevin was saying things like, okay, well, that's fine for regular depression, but what about when you're adding in like hormone? Postpartum is so much more when it comes to like hormones and such, that it's just so different.
So, given that the prosecutor started the case off with it was a fake suicide attempt to now it was a real suicide attempt, and she's faking this. I'm curious, in closing statements, when this is all tied together, what does everybody think? Chris, Karen, and the entire chat. I have no idea where this is going. What do you think that they're going to say the motive was, the reason?
I think they're going to have to go with like the biggest reason at the end, and that was that she loved the kids into and didn't think selfishly, wanted to end her own life and didn't want the kids to be around. And I think they're going to have to go with that.
She loved them to death.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they've been making it up as they go along. There's just like it's consistently inconsistent. Like they're always just saying different contradictory things about her circumstance and how she got into the situation. And it's a terrible situation to begin with. So, I don't know how they tie it together without like some sort of consistent story throughout the whole trial.
Yeah.
Can you guys describe bipolar? I mean, because I know that they felt bad for Chris, but Karen, I know that you have like a really like indirect but intimate relationship with it because your father had it. And like, can you tell me from your perspective what your observations of him were?
Yeah. You mean like before we found out or as or his what happened with him? Or?
Maybe before treatment and then like after what he was like when he was trying different medications and then what he's like after he's stable.
Okay. So before he was very intense, very kind of angry, kind of short, he would have depression type episodes. There wasn't a lot of mania. What happened was eventually one night he saw demons a visual hallucination coming up our stairs, and I was in my bedroom. So he was kind of crouched in the hallway, like in the bathroom, which was between my bedroom and my parents' bedroom. And he shot his duty weapon off at the demons trying to kill them. And one hit the floor, and one, my mom had back problems at the time. We had the best couch. She was asleep on the couch downstairs. Now she was a cop as well. So she jumped up. She's like, Jamie, what are you doing? And we had no clue. Now I pretended to be asleep, but I heard all of that situation going on. And I'm like, not going to get up and find out what's going on right now. Cause I was like, yeah, no, we're good. They came in to see if I was awake. I pretended to be asleep. And my mom ended up like spending the whole day with him, like the whole night, convincing him that he wasn't seeing demons, that it was actually not there. And so I remember the next day he was in a very religious stage as well. That religious stuff always kind of the go with God stuff. Immediately I'm like, like that's another type of thing that can happen. Religion can become very, or in grandiosity and stuff like that. Grandiosity was always a thing I remember, but we had to go to church Sunday. And my mom said, okay, if we go to church, then you have to go get help after. And that was the agreement. Well, he gets up in the middle of church and he goes, kind of goes back and gets, I guess, a fire extinguisher and tries to kill more demons. And at that point, they had him downstairs, and they then had, it was time. He was convinced. And although I'm making it seem very easy, it wasn't. They did get him into the facility. It was on a holiday weekend. Remember how they were saying McLean was like, bare bones. It was very same thing. Guess what? He didn't see a doctor until Tuesday. He was in on a Sunday morning. So that also very much got, like, this case has so much of my own experience, parasocially, like, I understand a lot of it.
What was he like before that incident? Like, did he have an explosive temper on you? And okay.
Yes. Very loud and angry, and but also like funny. Like he could laugh, but you never knew when it was gonna be like eggshells. We walked on eggshells all the time.
That sounds like me in perimenopause, honestly.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like your brain chemistry does change. I'm not saying that you're now developing that, but brains are so fascinating, so amazing to me. And we have 2 children that have had brain surgery. And so that aspect of it always gets me, that I've seen so many things that their brains have compensated or undercompensated, overcompensated, or even changed so that their bodies could do. Brains are so amazing. And if you just have a little bit of chemistry off, you can end up needing some help. And that's okay. That's okay to have that help. Because after, when we did get him on medication, he was a lot more normal. Now he still had, we called it spring fling and fall whatever, because he's still in the change of season, had a milder manic time and then it would fall into weeks of depression. That was with him medicated. My dad, over the years, he ended up almost dying from his medication. It, the end of the commercials where they're like, if you have stiff muscles, blah, 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 fever, call your doctor immediately, or call 911. Okay. So that happened to him. It's called NMS. And he almost died from his meds. He had to come off of all antipsychotics. He was still on Depakote. We ended up finding, they had finally got him on a medication because the lithium had caused stage 3 kidney failure. So they had to move him off of lithium onto something else. We had 2 years where he was where he was very like peaceful, because he like was almost like not comatose, but it was a nice change. We didn't have to worry about him freaking out ever. So it was very much like, yeah. My mom did write a book. Thank you, What the Duck, for putting it in the, my mom did write a book about all of our experience. This is all in a much better storytelling manner. After that, he had to go through.
How old were you during this span?
Well, when he was originally diagnosed, 11. I was in middle school.
Okay.
It was like the weekend before school started. That was awesome. Then when he had his first almost dying from antipsychotics, and that goes to show that even at the lowest dose, oh yes, someone just wrote that somewhere. I saw it. Even the lowest doses, or even changing a tiny bit of something, whether it's a low dose or no dose, or that pisses me off too, because the same person can have 5 milligrams, and then the next person might need 50 milligrams, and you tweak it even a tiny bit, and you might be thrown off completely because your every body is so different. So when I had children by the time he went through his second situation. So then he ended up, fast forward, the worst time for me was 3 years ago in 2023. He had come off all of his meds. He stopped taking them.
Why?
Because they were causing him so much pain. He was having nerve pain. He had such bad tremors. He was in the bathroom all the time. He was so frustrated with how his life was that it had to be better. And he came off, and he went into a psychotic state where he was paranoid, seeing visual hallucinations, doing auditory hallucinations. But listen to me when I tell you that if you guys were at my house and he was telling you a story and I'm sitting there knowing that none of this is true, he could have played off being a normal person. And that's what another thing that makes me angry about this case is, because they keep saying things like pressured speech. He didn't always have pressured. I have pressured speech sometimes. He didn't always. Did he ever? Yes. Did he have strange ideas? Yes. Did he make up words? No. But all of the other things, yes. He ended up becoming a bit violent, and 911 was called. He was sedated and brought into the ER, where he spent 5 unmedicated days waiting for a bed to open up somewhere. Those were the 5 worst days of my entire life, other than my husband finding out he had cancer, and maybe a couple. I'm going to put it in the top 5 worst experiences. Was my dad unmedicated. He is a big man. He was like Buzz Light. Picture Buzz Lightyear. They used to use him to go through a building instead of a battering ram on the task force. So he's a very loud, large, strong guy that works out. He was working out every day, excessive exercise for his entire life until now. He ended up being court ordered to stay. And when that hospital was amazing, he was there for 9 weeks. They had everything, tweaked and whatnot. It was very hard during those 9 weeks because he wanted to come home. He didn't understand it. He doesn't remember a lot of the things he said and did. I was like the only person he wasn't paranoid about or angry about, but he also forgot simple things. Like he'd ask for my husband to come, but then forget I was married. Like it was weird. Then he had this whole thing where like he was going to take my daughter on like a missionary trip. I just looked at her. I was like, just go with it. She was like 12. I was like, just go with it. It's fine. Because she came to visit him with me, because this is like something that has to be talked about and has to be common in my family. Mental health
you brought your daughter there with you, so obviously you didn't feel unsafe around him.
No, nope. At that point, he had been there for almost 2 months, and she wanted to see him, and he was okay with it. There were I have a lot of kids, and it was like, this age was okay, this age wasn't, and this age he was embarrassed to be in there, and so he didn't want the older boys seeing him because he was embarrassed, and that was okay for him. That was his choice, and he doesn't even remember any of this, you guys. None of it. He went through.
How did they stabilize him?
19 rounds of ECT. That's the electric shock, where they give you a 19 rounds is a lot. It was very risky, in the sense that you can lose memories, you can have permanent stuff. But for him, he cannot be on a high level antipsychotic. It will kill him. And he was on Depakote, and the Depakote, he was actually on his deathbed. We were calling hospice in for him because the Depakote was taking away. If I showed you a video of him, you would say he's dying in bed. You can hardly understand his speech. In order for the insurance to take over and let hospice come in to take care of him, and my mom and I were caring for him in every manner. He couldn't get out of bed. He was bedridden. and I was 9 months pregnant, and my husband had cancer. And so this is 2021. So this is right before his last, like 2 years before his last thing. So there's been a set of years where it's always difficult. But the doctor said, you've got to get him to come in. Then we have to determine he can't be rehabbed. Then whatever. We got him to go in, and the doctor said, oh my God, we need to cut his Depakote. And we're like, you can't do that because he'll go into an episode. When they did cut his Depakote down, he did regain function again, and he was rehabbed back into home. That brought us to 2023, so he was on lesser medication than he should have been. So eventually, after the whole situation where he has the 19 rounds of ECT, and he's scared, and it's so hard to watch your parent and have to like hold their hand and tell them it's going to be okay, and then watch my chart and pray for a great seizure. These are the weirdest times I felt I was living in a strange like twilight zone. Ultimately, my dad is so calm now. He's on medication, but he's very stable. He doesn't get angry anymore. I'll ask my mom, what are you doing? And she says normal people things. These are things
what medication is he on?
I wish I could remember right now, and
It's
my
okay.
brain does not. And I'm sorry, because I totally wish that I knew.
It's interesting that your parents' marriage survived that.
This last one is the only time it almost didn't. My mom is a effing warrior hero. My dad, the only thing that really kept her from leaving was my dad never lied. He never lied about anything, because if you had add lying to it, she would have been gone. She is a very much like, this is the truth, you tell the truth. And I try to carry that with me as well. This is you are only as good as your word. And they separated at one point when I was really young. It got to the point in 2023 where he was unmedicated, where I really truly thought that the only place in society for him would be in a tent in my backyard. I'm not joking. That makes me emotional today, because
you couldn't make him like a little guest house or something.
He wouldn't have wanted to. He was a Marine, and it was like the only place that he would have been able to like he wouldn't have. I don't even know how to explain any of it, except that like maybe a heated shed, like we could have convinced him of. But that's where I thought we were going with this, because my mom couldn't take it. She was being attacked, not physically, but he was so paranoid that she was poisoning him with food. He lost a bunch of weight. And to see them today is incredible. He loves her with so much. He's always loved her, but to see this stage that we're in, he spends a lot of time. No, his body has been worn and torn by all of this. And there are a lot of times, and Chris, I'm being so candid here. It's weird to say in front of somebody with it, but a lot of times, even being in public safety, you don't see somebody with bipolar live to a very, very old age, because it takes such a toll on your body. The medications take a toll on your body. He's aged. He may be like 70, but he feels like he's late 80s, and he is in a chair most of the day now. But I bring it. We have sandwiches. We go over. He enjoys food still, and he, it's like he stopped working out for the first time in his life. He'd be okay to pass away, but he's not depressed. He knows he's lived. Like, he knows he's in a different stage. There were times where he had plans. He had, I'm going to go out in the street and let a giant truck hit me in the middle of the night. He lives on the next street over, and I had to very matter-of-factly say to him, yeah, maybe we could put that away for today, because what if the kids wake up in the morning, and what if they wake up before me, and I don't get a chance to go out and clean you up off of the street before the kids do? Think about that. I had to have that conversation with him, because you couldn't have a rational one. And I got him to move away from taking his own life in the middle of the night, just by saying, I can't clean you up fast enough. The kids will see you. And he had that much wherewithal to say, okay, you're right. Let's do it a different day. That's wild to have these conversations, right? Yes.
I wanted to ask Chris really quick. Does any of what she's saying, like, does it sound familiar to you at all?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it does. Do you feel like when you would be in a bipolar mania that you were not safe to be around? Because
I
you're
mean,
like
there's documented evidence of
you're
that. Yeah, like
you're
there's
one of the safest people that I know.
So
that
is my
wasn't always the
dad.
case. That wasn't always the
He's
case.
Chris
And
is
neither for my dad as well.
Chris is a little bit impulsive. But I think he's probably just naturally an impulsive person, and that doesn't have anything to do with like bipolar 1.
Do you have
But
like
I can't.
ADHD too, or
I don't think so.
no? Okay.
I was never diagnosed.
That's more
with it.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll say this: it up until I was diagnosed, it's like a light bulb for me. It was when I was actually diagnosed, but it took a lot of like I've been reading through the chat. There's a lot of people bringing up family members that are resistant to treatment, people being resistant to medication. It's interesting when you're going through it because and I've said this before, you don't know any other reality but what is in front of you. So
Right.
if you're paranoid, if you go into a psychosis, which I can think of one time where I would consider my state psychosis, and they called it a mixed episode, which was like, I haven't heard anybody else talk about that, but
We have had one of those. My dad has had a mixed episode.
yeah, it's like you're motivated with mania, but you are completely depressed and self-loathing.
Yeah,
So like,
it's very
a very
weird.
very dangerous state to be in because
Because you're like wild, but not.
you're wild about wanting to hurt yourself.
About yeah.
yeah, like you're.
So that was kind of the state that where I had to kind of like then bring him back and be like, so
Right.
like let's do it another day. Because you can't rationally be like, that's not good. That's not a
Like,
good.
I've heard-
I love that people are opening up in the chat too, because I'm reading all of these, and this is like
Guys.
this is great, and it's
Incredible.
probably good for Chris to hear because he doesn't know many people that have dealt with bipolar.
Oh, Chris, you should read my mom's book.
I will actually. Yeah, if I can get a copy, I'll try to get a copy of it. But
It's on Amazon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I want to articulate that, like, because you only know your own reality, like listening to other people talk about these things,
Right.
the parallels make sense to me, but it's not like
It's still hard.
I'm removed enough from it now that I can understand how it's not like the things you're describing about your dad, where he's like some of the things he would say or the way he would behave, like, and hearing people talk about the circumstances around what happened with Lindsay and like unaliving herself and those sort of like motivations, like that was all real normal for me. Like that doesn't seem odd or out of place for me. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird to watch it from the other side and be like, oh yeah, like, there's other people that have
Right?
this issue and it's very similar. Whereas when you're dealing with it, a lot of times you feel like you're the only person dealing with it, especially if you're going
Shame.
into there's shame, and if you're going into a psychosis, you don't necessarily have a cognizant sense of what's really going on. So
Of course. Right. Right.
it's easy to feel like everybody's against you or everything is wrong and you're the only one that knows how it's right, which
Yes,
doesn't make
that's
sense.
definitely what we've experienced as well.
In case anybody in the chat has never heard you talk about this before, can you really quick just talk about what happened when you tried to get out treatment and with your therapist or nurse practitioner and being diagnosed with an SSRI and what happened? And then there's a question for you in the chat if you want to answer that as well.
Yeah, let me answer that first because it's interesting. Yes and no. And I'll say now, if I stop taking my medication, I can get to a point where within the context of a reaction, I go to, oh, wow, you're really like out of control. Like something's not right and you need to be brought back into like control. When I was younger and I was first getting diagnosed, it's more just confusion that other people don't see things the way you do. Like I've heard of other personality disorders or that's like a feature of it where people, they react to things a certain way because that's to them is the appropriate reaction, but it's not appropriate to anyone else. And that's the best way I can describe being in like an episode or something. It seems like I'm behaving appropriately, but then you look around and you see everybody's reaction to you and you're like, oh, wait a minute.
I
Something's not
can
right.
also say that when Chris went off his meds and we would start arguing a lot about stuff, and I I had to tell him, like, you are being completely unreasonable and insane, and you need to go back on your medication. He had no self-awareness at all.
Yeah.
How I was being, he was denying it. He's like,
It's your fault, right?
you're the one, you. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't know how to get through to this guy. I don't know
Well,
what
you
to do.
can't.
No, I
Right?
had to
Like, you
threaten
can't
him.
because
I'm
it's
going to terminate our relationship if you don't get on your meds. I
yeah.
can't live like this.
Well, there were a couple times where I had to have boundaries, and I said, my kids aren't going to live the way that I did, and have these experiences with you. And
Yeah.
there were a couple times that I had to do that. And honestly, when my mom wrote the book, the first time I read it, I had to set it down a couple of times because it was hard. There are periods in it that I just had to set down, and then come back to it. When I read it again, and I actually have it on my phone still, and every once in a while I'll refer to something. But when I read it the next time, I read it all the way through, and all I wanted to do was go hug my dad. And I felt so sad for what he's experienced his whole life, how hard it's been. That is when I read it through the second time. It was almost as if like everything clicked in my brain where I was like, I don't need therapy ever again. I mean, I wouldn't say ever again in life, but about that, because it fixed it. It was weird. It was like, I get it now.
So somebody asked this question a little while ago, and they wanted to know if bipolar affected more men or women. And it sounds like since your dad had it and Chris had it, maybe it's more common in men, but it isn't. It's about 50-50, although I guess the symptoms vary greatly depending on what gender you are.
Right?
So,
Interesting. Well, that's like autism too. Like, I think everything kind of does, just because our brain chemistry is made up differently. Again, with the brain chemistry.
So Chris had a very similar experience with the SSRI that Lindsay had. I'm gonna let him. He can tell that in 3 minutes.
I think she was taking Zoloft. I had a nurse practitioner that didn't believe I had mania, similar to what I hear going on with the Lindsay Clancy trial, where they're just like, well, is it really mania, or are you just kind of excited? And it's like, okay. But
So downplayed it a lot.
yeah. And this nurse practitioner decided to prescribe me medication that I took because it was a doctor giving me medication. It turns out they prescribed me Celexa, which I don't know if it's an SSRI, but it was an antidepressant.
It is, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I took
And
it.
that sent me into crazy mania. I lost a job because of it, but I was like, I don't remember the circumstances of all that. I remember the day or two after, and I remember getting in this huge fight with my old boss. I worked at a restaurant, so there was no HR or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, like I remember getting a huge fight with my boss, but there was something that happened, and I don't know what happened. And I never cared to get the story after the fact. It's probably too late now. But there was an episode. I don't remember it at all. So I couldn't tell you exactly
he doesn't.
what I did.
That's the same thing. My dad doesn't. So, because someone said, like, are you aware the episodes? My dad does not. We joke a bit about it now because, like, he created the angels workout that the angels in heaven do, like guardian, like Michael and all this stuff. Now, and he made my mom do it. He was calling her like fat and stuff. And God bless my dad would be like, my dad is you'd be horrified at some of the things that he's done and said. And every doctor said, there's no point. You don't sit down with him. Remember when because he won't, and he wasn't him. That's the thing. It's not them. That's the part about the Lindsay thing. It wasn't Lindsay that's sitting there today and medicated.
It doesn't sound like it was, because every description from every single person that she knew in her life, including her ex-husband and his mother, have described her as like a wonderful, loving mother. I think she was probably a little bit type A. And I know, Karen, we talked about that before, about how she was as a mom, but like
attachment parenting. Yeah.
Right. But like, but like you and I made our own baby food. Like,
yeah. I feel like she did too. I feel like if we went backwards, she was only buying the organic stuff. Like that's the
right
in the group that we were in together. I was saying this to Michael Bryant from Justice Served. If you go back to all my pictures, now my husband and I do a lot of charity work. We host events. He's on the news, so we do a lot of like we are the people that do the hosting or whatnot. We have a nonprofit ourselves. If you look at any pictures where I am in a fancy dress, I have a baby. I'm wearing a baby. If I had a baby, and there was a lot of babies I was having. Hey, Joy, there was a lot of babies that came out. I was always wearing a baby. The kids came with us to everything because I didn't leave them with a babysitter. They also wouldn't take a bottle. I'm hearing that again. None of these things are strange to me because this is how I parented my kids as well. I would have been checking on them in the middle of the night. I would have called someone to go over to my house and make sure they were okay. There's so many similarities that when they try to like use those little facts to kind of turn it to make it sound nefarious or wrong, or that it was anxiety at that point, I'm like, no, it's called attachment parenting. And clearly you guys like don't know what it is, because that's a style of parenting. You don't let your baby cry. That's why she was freaking out, because she was so tired that they must have convinced her that you must do cry it out with Callan because they hadn't done it before. And in her journals, that's something that she's so worried about. Is there going to be a different relationship? Is he going to feel all the things?
I couldn't do cry it out.
Neither could I.
Baby's voice is genetically engineered to be the most irritating sound I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And
So
I
you're
will
gonna come
do
get him, right?
To wake you up. I will do
Yeah.
anything to make that noise stop. That's not, illegal, but baby, you're getting food right now. Whatever you need, you got it, and then we can be calm.
You know the crib was in her
way.
bedroom, right? I guarantee that baby was in their bed half the time. I guarantee it. I would definitely put a bet on that if I was, which I am. The crib's in the bedroom. Like this is how
I had a bassinet in my bedroom. But
because
she had her own room with a crib. But until my daughter was, I think, like maybe 2.5 months old, my other daughter was on summer vacation and she was 16 at the time. So she would be like, let me help with the baby. I'll take a shift. So she'd take like the 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. shift because that's when she was going to bed anyway.
Yeah.
And I'd get like a sleeping, fed, changed baby. She'd put her in the bassinet. It would wake me up and I'd be like, oh, I better go use a breast pump or else I'm going to make a mess. And then I'd go back to sleep a little bit, which was great. So I did the sleeping in the room with the baby, but the baby was fed and changed and it was nice.
Yes.
I hope my oldest daughter never has kids because I will owe her so big time.
I know. It's like that's the fun part about having kids that are like, because my kids are 28 to 5, so I totally get it. Some of them were like so involved. Hey, Dor. Some of them were so involved in the parenting. Like my 4 boys wanted to dress my daughter when she came along every day. I'm like, I want to dress her. But that's like, it's so true. That's so true. But I want to talk about one other reason why this case is so important to me. I did have a very close friend of mine. We grew up together. We did Girl Scouts together, and which to me, like we were in every, like that was our big thing that we did, but we all through our lives were together. She unalived herself very violently on when her baby was 13 days old, postpartum psychosis. And this is 2005 and nobody talked about it. And to me, it's so 2005 is a long time ago, but we're still like, we haven't moved much from that because it's not in the DS. It's I can't believe that after Andrea Yates, that's the same, like we're still in like the same space. We've hardly moved the needle. And that's wild to me that mental health is so backwards in this country.
We've learned a lot of things about the DSM. And
more than ever, I believe, in this case.
It seems like psychiatrists use it like a Bible instead of a guide, right? To assist with diagnosis, they used it as a diagnostic tool which I think is ridiculous. Isn't that literally your job?
Right?
Right.
It's like if I ever go to a doctor and they pull out a DSM, I'm throwing it at them.
The DSM is written by these doctors who we've seen several testify that are essentially insurance company
They don't get
doctors.
It's cover
They
your
d-
ass.
It's not just cover your ass. It's like we don't want to spend money on things.
That's so wild to me. It's just like then listening to Justice Served with that amazing man on. I'm just going like they have the infanticide law, whatever, in 1938, guys.
Right. Yep.
England, where we ran away from, still ahead apparently.
I
Just
actually
kidding.
knew that from watching the show Call the Midwife.
Oh, that's a great show.
I know.
That is my dad and mom watched that. My dad even watched that. Like,
I made Chris's mom watch it, and Chris's mom's older.
I haven't
She's
seen it yet.
like 83,
I
I
know
think.
all of it.
But she
I mean,
loves
wait,
it.
I got that wrong. I love Midwives. I've only seen, when I said I've seen it, I've only seen a little bit of it. I need to watch more of it. I got to get back into that after this. Although I might need to just get away like altogether from anything that involves children.
It's a drama, and there's a baby in like
Yeah.
every episode. But
Which I love.
know,
I loved A Baby
Yeah.
Story. I was A Baby Story. I mean, not really, but I just felt like I was in an episode all the time.
so I'm sorry that your friend that happened to your friend. I mean, that's absolutely terrible. What did you notice about her? I mean, maybe you didn't notice anything about her because you kind of keep to
She pulled
yourself
back.
after you. Right, after you have a baby too, like you're busy, so you don't really
It's like the first 2 weeks.
talk to people.
Right? So
Yeah.
no, I didn't. We were going to plan it. She was like very, it turned very quickly, and we
What was
didn't get
her-
to see her with her baby.
What was her situation like?
She's married.
She
We
was
were
married,
young.
and
Yeah, we
her
were pretty
husband,
young.
her
Husband was there.
husband was he a good husband? Was he helpful with the baby? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, they were like Patrick and Lindsay, like seemed like they were in love. Like, I mean, you never actually know what goes on behind someone's door. I can only say what I observe. But she had a great family. Just not expected. So shocking. And
Yeah.
life changing, obviously. And so that's why, like, I am here to tell the story. And I guess I will touch on just this much of what's been going on. I can't let the drama and negativity of what may be going on around me right now affect my reasons for continuing to tell this story. And it's so important to me. We can't keep any kind of mental health so far behind. We have to put more effort into it, because how many families does it affect? Pretty much every family, right?
Well,
I mean, I
women-
have been on
women's-
medications for so long.
Women's mental
Women's
health
health in
hasn't
general.
changed. Right. It hasn't changed much. I mean,
Ever.
you've heard
Really?
you've heard the story about the male birth control pill, right?
Yes. I mean, I don't know that everybody has. It's just,
They didn't like the side effects, so they didn't put it on the market for use. Like,
right. And what do we do
Female-
every day?
right.
Have side effects from everything.
I think a lot of people are getting rubbed the wrong way about Lindsay Clancy becoming like a feminist agenda, and they're not hearing what we're saying about women's mental health and the
That's
lack
what the
thereof.
people are coming out for, right? When that big standout happened, everybody was like, "Why are they cheering for Lindsay?"
Well,
What they're
I didn't like it either.
I didn't like the cheering part, went a little far, but I don't want that to lose sight as to why people came from all over the world. They came because 3 children lost their lives because a mother was not understood or helped in the way she needed to be helped. And we're talking about a mother who was smart, very intelligent, a nurse. I mean, you're not talking about someone who had all the resources right there, but still couldn't be saved. And that goes to our system. and just the sort of like passing her off, from here to here, and the lack of research and the lack of knowledge by all of these. Look at all the professionals they're bringing on. We can't find somebody that actually is like proficient or didn't write a paper in 1990 or even 2000 who hasn't
I don't think that anyone credible would have been willing. But it's becoming much more apparent to me with this trial that like we shouldn't be using the DSM.
Not it can be a
at
guide.
All.
No,
or
I mean,
why use it at all? All of the other countries are using something else and not this, probably for a reason. I mean, we have other guides that can be used.
I know, and if anything, it really should be just that, a small guide, not the end all be all Bible of mental health. Nothing. That brings me to like the it's so outdated, and it brings me to the extreme because it's like extreme of anything isn't going to help anybody. And that can go for, you shouldn't drink water to the extreme. Any religious extreme causes this and that. So if you're only using this book and that's your extreme, you're not actually helping anybody. Like there's all these resources. Use it as that. Use a piece of the puzzle. Then you look in this, then you look in that, and you put them all together and you observe, and if someone else has written a paper, see what they've also, it's wild to me. It's like I'm sitting here and I'm like, I could do a better job of helping her than you are. I don't understand that. I don't have the schooling that you have. What is happening here? Where is the disconnect?
Well, that's the other thing that's like really striking to me, because I have no experience with pharmacology. I have absolutely no experience with medicine. I'm not a doctor, but I feel like I have a better handle on like what's going on with Lindsay's mental health than they do. And that's a sad state of affairs. And that's just from my like learned life experience of knowing Chris. When he told me what happened to him when he had an SSRI, I was like, that's crazy that they used you as a guinea pig and gave this to you. But also, this sounds like Lindsay Clancy a lot.
Right.
And
that,
if they see them all the time,
I have
why
a
aren't they picking this up?
And that's the thing I don't get. So I have a son who has had to try many medications, and he has major depressive disorder. And at one point they even cold turkey pulled him off his medication because they were like, SSRI is causing this. And it's like, it wasn't. They pulled him off cold turkey, and that could actually have killed him if he did have bipolar in general. But he's had to go through he's so sensitive to medication. He's a hypermetabolizer of it. It was supposed to be a silent standout. It really was. I think people were just so overwhelmed by the atmosphere. It doesn't give an excuse because you could listen and do what you're supposed to do. But
no, I think they definitely got caught up in emotion, and that's cool. But what the TV cameras are showing is Kevin Reddington coming out and people cheering for him like he's a member of the Beatles, and it's like and they're starstruck, and I'm like, oh no, this is a bad look. And I felt like it ruined what they were trying to do, what the intention was.
Sorry, I have a wicked headache. I take a medication that gives me such a headache. That's why I'm doing this. I'm so sorry. I'm not like being weird.
Okay.
I'm over here like, I'm being strange.
I thought you were making like face. I mean, we can do it too.
No, because I don't know what someone will say I'm doing. But
see if I can. Oh. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at that, but that was really funny.
At some point you have to, because it's not, you know what I mean? But I have a wicked bad headache. It's like, now I'm laughing again. I'm bad.
It's okay.
I just totally
we're going to get screenshotted with me laughing with my mouth open and you're going like this.
She's laughing at a murder trial. Not.
Yeah.
It's oh, I don't know. What do you do but laugh at some things, because if you don't, you will cry at everything. Like, but when you say the media takes screenshots of or certain, I'm getting it, because there are I've seen some fangirls of Kevin Reddington. They probably fangirl a lot of weird things, but the majority of it is, oh my God, thank you for finally like doing something, or thank you for being the person out there. Thank you for always, thank you for furthering this. And God, I didn't have it on my bingo card for a 75-year-old white man to be the leader of women's health care and mental health in
No, I don't think.
2026. But I'll take it.
I don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody expected this trial to
Kevin
be as
didn't
big as it
either.
is.
Neither did Kevin.
Did he tell you that?
I think that we sort of talked about like he had a case where it was the first domestic battered women syndrome case that was used. That was there was no televised. It actually was in the newspapers, under the newspaper, because like Boston Globe, it was too salacious for that, because the wife stabbed the husband in the eyes. I don't want AI to turn us off. A very gruesome case. And he used a battered women's syndrome expert. So this is like, think about that. He didn't even, the Boston Globe and Herald wouldn't cover it. The like Ledger did underneath it, because that's like the stepping stone paper. And here we are with national coverage, where I've got to go to court at an ungodly hour in the morning to make sure that I get in there. Thank you, Ed O'Brien. Big Ed, I've had a long week. I sure have. It's been a
long week, long weekend. I mean, I think she's had 12 hours of sleep. Oh, you got sleep last night.
I slept
still.
I did, but still it was like broken up. And so I don't make white blood cells very much. I make a very under amount of that. That's why I have a headache. I have neutropenia, autoimmune neutropenia. And basically your white blood cells are what fight off infection. And I make under 500 of them. And so I take something called
how many are you supposed to make?
Far more than that. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands.
Okay.
And thousands. So it's called critically low. And
is this a lifelong affliction?
It is. I don't know how long I've had it. It was I only got an amazing hematologist at the New England Cancer, shout out, with Dana Farber. I don't have cancer, but the hematology department is there. And I had to have a bone marrow biopsy. They thought I had leukemia. I do have leukemia blasts in my blood, which childhood leukemia as a grown woman, but not enough to call it that. And I don't have it. So really, okay. I have a strange body. But what it does is I take something that they give people with cancer. So if you are on chemo and you are vulnerable, you see people in their masks and they can't go out in public, and they have you always talk about, if someone has cancer, you got to be careful. You can't get them sick. That's because they have no white blood count. So they get something called a growth colony stimulator, and it's makes your bone marrow mass produce white cells. Well, when I do the shot, I do 1 shot every week. When I do, I feel like absolute crap, and it makes my head feel like it's actually exploding, and my eyes actually feel like they're exploding out of my head right now. And then, but tomorrow while I'm sitting in court, my iliac crest, my hip bones, all of that will hurt so very badly for the next 2 days, especially. So half the week I'm in a bunch of pain, and the other half of the week still in pain, but I'm alive. It sucks, but that's why so if anyone's going to clip me rubbing my head, please, there's the explanation for it. Thank God for science.
You should consider getting some OMT. I don't know if you're familiar with
Yes,
that.
I do.
It's amazing.
Incredible.
It's amazing.
I get what's it called? Where they like do your where they rub your head. I don't know. I can't think. But I love, it's like OMT, but no, but like my doctor is like so incredible. I have the best.
Does he do like myofascial release?
Yeah. So that's basically what they do. Like that's, yeah. It sucks. Having autoimmune stuff. I don't have Blanca B. I don't have that. I have neutropenia. And I have Ehlers-Danlos, which is a connective tissue disorder.
Oh, no. I have it.
You do?
Like, I have the worst case of it that my doctor has ever seen. And he has his medical students come to his appointments with me to be a guinea pig. I think
mine is connected to, because it's blood is connective tissue, but guess what? They haven't studied that either.
Yeah, they don't care about it, but it's connected to a lot of things. Mast cell activation.
Have it. I carry EpiPens all over the place. My sons and I all have Chiari malformation. Pots I
is
have.
another. Yep.
I have that. Oh wow, look at us.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's related to the
Also-
most people with Ehlers-Danlos are on the spectrum.
On the spectrum, I was just gonna say that puts you. So are my autistic
but
kids. They all have Ehlers-Danlos as well.
My daughter has it, and we're fighting over that because with it comes like devastatingly heavy periods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there are certain things that it would probably be preferred if she didn't do, and at school, like contact sports.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My kids in contact sports. Trust me. Ugh. My son.
Well,
One of my kids. Two of my kids have had brain surgery that have originated from. Oh my God. So sorry, you guys. Seriously, my head is killing me.
it's okay, but I have all the flexibility, like
Me too.
times 12.
That's so crazy. Well,
Yeah.
according to a picture that showed up in the news, my shoulder was actually popped out.
I don't dislocate because everything will
I
just
sublux.
go.
I don't
everything will
dislocate. I
just go.
sublux. I sublux everything. Like I pray behind
yeah.
my back. Like right.
Yeah. Chris is looking at you like, yeah, Aaron can do that.
No, I know, right? It's like people are like, what is wrong with
Like
you?
all my fingers bend backwards and touch.
It's so crazy,
the
right?
back of my hand. Yeah, it's gross.
It really
It's
is
gross.
We're
Anyway,
gross.
I think that I like having that in common with you.
I do too.
Even though it's gross.
I
It's
get
kinda
you.
Nice. Yeah.
I think I get you a lot.
You know, there are characteristics that we have physically and the way that we look, especially in our face. We all have a similarity about our faces. So I found that interesting too.
Isn't that cool? Yeah. It's so fascinating. Sometimes I look at people and I'm like, oh, you definitely are hypermobile. And you don't know it.
And they're like, why are you sitting like that?
Oh my God, you should see my legs are crossed. When I'm in court, sometimes my legs are like crossed. I can't even if I didn't have a skirt on with unshaved legs right this second, I would totally show you what
It would
my
hurt
legs
me
look
to
like.
sit in this chair. So I have like a leopard print bench underneath my desk, and I just move around the whole time.
That's why I can't
So,
stop
like, my
moving
legs
because
are
everything
up.
hurts.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
when I drive with a knee up, and I know it's dangerous. Don't at me today.
I do it too. I do it too.
Safely and legally.
Yeah.
I drive
This leg up.
the hips.
foot
I was. Ugh.
foot underneath me because
Yes!
otherwise my hips hurt. I'm with you, girl. Like I totally get it. Anyway, I should let you go to bed because you have a
Okay.
really important day. Are you going to give us an update in the middle of the day?
I will. Yes, I will do a lunchtime update. And also, I will be live tweeting the whole situation.
Okay.
Did you guys see where
Awesome.
I was sitting on yesterday? I was on the defense side. The whole
Yeah.
media was on the regular side, and I was on the defense side. I got my special chair. I didn't get in trouble. They just ran out of seats. And the defense and the nice court guys that I've become, not guys, but officers, and everybody was like, we have a special seat for you. You sit right here.
That's going to be nice, especially with the media circus that it's going to be, in the
I
next
saw
5
someone else in
days.
my seat today. I actually know her personally, and I love her. So I'm whatever. But I'm going to try to get that seat again tomorrow. I want my seat back.
Totally do it.
will.
Do you want to come back on Sunday and we can like recap what happened this week and talk about how freaking nervous we are?
As long as it's the day before school starts, so I do have to put everybody to bed early. So, but yes, I would love to do. Let's chat and tell me what time, and we'll make it work.
Oceans, we are putting Karen to bed right now.
I love you guys. Oh my God, I'm seeing it. There's
All
a
right.
bunch. Everybody wants me to go to bed. Guys,
right,
I haven't
Chris.
even eaten dinner.
Yeah, well, go eat something and go to sleep.
I gotta like DoorDash
Everybody's-
something. I'm gonna DoorDash something, take a shower, and I have guys. Look at I know it's blurry, but those are like 3 different bags just chucked on my bed.
And put your clothes away.
I know.
Chris, do you want to play the outro?
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, you guys. Thank you so much.